Hello, everyone. I'm Roy Steinberg, the producing artistic director at Cape May Stage, and we're so grateful you could join us for another one of these readings. You know, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've been doing all kinds of readings, some rather serious. This one is rather comic. We're so happy to bring you a play called Happy, and it's by Alan Zweibel. Alan has written for Billy Crystal. He wrote the Broadway show that he did. He was a writer on Saturday Night Live. And it just so happens he and I went to the same high school, Hewlett High School. And we share one honor, which is we're both on the Hewlett High School Wall of Fame. So that's one thing, Alan, you and I have in common. The play we're about to read was originally produced at the Summer Shorts Festival at 59 East 59th Street. And our cast has Donald being played by Michael Basile and Happy being played by Jesse N. Holmes. So the play takes place in the vestibule of an apartment building, nothing out of the ordinary. Door one enters from the street, a small area with a directory on the wall listing tenants, and another door from which one has to either use a key or be buzzed in by a tenant to open. Drab is the motif here. Chipped paint, faint vestiges of graffiti that defiantly still peep through the efforts of a whitewash and lighting a few watts dimmer than it really should be. The overall feeling is that although the place is clean and well maintained, it's probably part of a low-income housing development that years and lack of funds have finally caught up to. The time is 1997. At Rise, we see Donald Rappaport. He opens the outside door and enters the vestibule. He's wearing a suit and a Rolex watch and looks extremely hot. His forehead is beading with perspiration, and the underarms of his suit jacket are drenched with huge wet spots. He scans the directory, finds the name he's looking for, tries to open the inside door, realizes it's locked, and pushes the button next to the name on the directory. While waiting for a response, he tries to cool off by fanning himself with his attaché case.
Fucking hot.
He pushes the button again, and while waiting for a response, tries to cool off by fanning himself with his tie.
Oh, fucking hot.
He pushes the button the third time, and while waiting for a response, tries to cool off by fanning himself by opening and closing the outside door a number of times.
Fucking Florida.
Through the intercom, we hear the offstage voice of an older man.
Yes?
Mr. Halliday?
Who would like to know?
I would.
And you would be?
From New York.
And you think that narrows it down?
Don't mind me. I'm just a little disoriented. You see, my parents live in Boca Raton, and I just flew here with my wife and kids because it's the first night of Passover.
And you think that narrows it down? This time of year, everyone from New York comes to Florida.
I wouldn't say everyone.
Oh, that's right. The son of Sam celebrates Passover in prison.
Look, my name is Donald Rappaport, and after we landed in West Palm Beach, I rented a Ford Taurus and dropped everyone off at my folks' place in Boca. I drove straight here on I-95 to Delray Beach to try and find George Halliday because I want to talk to him. Are you him?
I could be, but only on one condition.
Which is?
That I don't have to hear one more word about your itinerary. Deal?
Deal.
Then yes, I am George Halliday.
The George Halliday?
A George Halliday.
But I'm looking for the George Halliday.
The George Halliday who's the superintendent of this building?
No, the George Halliday who used to play for the Mets.
Oh, that the George Halliday.
Yes, that the George Halliday. Are you him?
I was.
Well, that makes no sense.
How come?
Because you're either the George Halliday who used to play for the Mets or you're not. It's not like you used to play for the Mets, but you no longer used to play for them. You either did or you didn't. So you either are or you aren't.
Ow.
Something wrong?
Yeah, I just threw my back out trying to follow that speech.
You making fun of me now?
May I remind you, sir, that I am a janitor. Break it, I'll fix it. Soil it, I'll clean it. Anything more complicated, I have to call somebody. Please don't make me have to do that with this conversation.
Okay. All I want to know is...
If I'm the George Halliday who once played baseball.
Yes.
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
You're Happy Halliday?
I'm Happy Halliday.
Great.
Now, is there something you'd like to talk to me about?
Yes, very much.
And you would like to have this talk face to face?
Yes, I would.
So then I'll buzz you in, okay?
Okay.
See how simple life can be if you just get to the point?
The buzzer sounds. Donald pushes the door open, enters the lobby, approaches the door. He waits patiently for it to open. While he does, he fixes his hair and collar as if primping himself for an important meeting. The door opens and George Happy Halliday appears. He walks with the aid of a cane.
George Halliday. You okay? Will you be talking soon?
Sorry, Donald Rappaport. I guess I'm just a little starstruck.
Well, I can see how all this can be overwhelming, but don't worry. I think you'll find that we janitors are just like ordinary people once you get past all the glitter and the goddamn paparazzi. So, Donald, ¿qué pasa?
I used to watch you play.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. My dad worked in the city. I'm originally from Long Island. There's a shocker, huh?
Yeah, I would have bet Kenya. So you were telling me about your dad.
All I was saying is lots of times I would go to work with him on the weekends, and afterwards we'd drive up to the polo grounds to see you play. I was 8.
Polo grounds ain't there no more, huh?
The city knocked it down and put up apartment buildings a few years after the Mets moved to Shea.
And that's how you found out where I lived, from the Mets.
No, I learned you were down here from that article I read about you.
What article?
In the New York Post, that series you were in.
What series?
Oh, it was no big deal.
Go ahead, tell me.
The New York Post, in their sports section, had a feature called What Might Have Been. And about a month ago, they had a piece.
About me.
I'm sorry. From the way it was written, I just assumed they spoke to you.
What did they have? A lot of that next Willie Mays stuff.
Yeah.
Donald follows Happy into the living room. Happy heads towards the kitchen.
I'm going to get some water. How about you? You want anything?
Yeah. I'll have a slice of apple pie heated up in a large glass of milk.
Oh, really? Now, would that be regular milk or 2%?
I'll make that 2%. I'm watching my weight. That way I could have 50 glasses of 2% milk for every 1 glass of whole milk.
Here's your pie.
On second thought, I'll just have some water.
Damn. And here I was so looking forward to cooking for you. So what were we talking about?
Donald opens his attaché case and takes out a clear plastic cube that has a baseball inside that's covered with signatures.
Here, check this out.
He hands the cube to Happy.
Wow.
The 1962 team. Pretty amazing, huh?
No pun intended.
No. Although that was the year they started calling you guys the Amazing Mets, right?
Right. Our amazing team that lost 120 games, which I believe is still the record for the most losses in any one season by any major league team in baseball history.
Yeah, it still is.
Oh, look at the names. Casey. There's Gil Hodges. Elio Chacon.
Yeah. My grandmother got really excited when she first heard Elio Chacon's name because she thought he was Jewish. She thought it was Elisha Cohen. True story. Now you're going to make fun of me?
No, not yet. Say, is it okay if I take this out of the cube?
Your hands clean?
Excuse me? Look, I just want to see it, not perform surgery on it.
Yeah, I guess they're all right.
I'm flattered.
Donald takes the ball out of the cube and hands it to Happy.
But try to hold it by the seams.
Are you always so annoying?
Yeah, pretty much.
So where'd you get this ball?
My dad. Like I said, we used to go to games all the time. He was a New York Giants fan, before they moved to San Francisco. So when the National League came back to the city, well, it didn't matter that the Mets stunk. In fact, it was part of the charm. I'd sit there and see players letting ground balls go through their legs, tripping over their feet when they were rounding bases, bumping into each other in the outfield. And I look at my dad and say, I can do that. And he'd look back at me and say, I believe you can. And we'd laugh about that all the way home.
So where'd you get the ball?
You see, the Yankees were too good. They were exciting, but there was no way an average kid like me can actually relate to those guys. But you,
Ball, get where?
well, look who's being annoying now. I got this ball the first day you played for the Mets.
Really?
They just brought you up on September 1st, the day the teams could expand their rosters for the final pennant drive, right?
Yeah. There I was sitting in some Holiday Inn in Syracuse when they called me with the news that I'm going up for a pennant drive for a team who was 57 games out of first place with only 28 left to play. And it was the greatest day of my life. They gave me a plane ticket. I called my folks. And when I landed in New York and stepped up to that plate for the first time, I was
Happy?
happy. I grew up across the street from the Polo Grounds. Used to watch Willie Mays do what he did from our kitchen window. So now, here I am, playing his old position, hitting those 2 home runs, and I am
Happy.
happy. And that's what I told those sports writers, and that's how that whole Happy Day business got started. All those banners, those pins, the billboard near the Holland Tunnel.
That's also when my dad started calling me that.
Happy?
Uh-huh.
Happy Rappaport.
Well, I'll admit it didn't have the same ring to it that Happy Holiday did, but dads don't usually say the last name when they're calling their kids, so it worked out okay. This ball, the second time you were up,
The single.
the pitch before it.
The foul ball.
This is it.
That's the ball.
Yep. We were sitting in the second level behind the plate, and this ball came screaming back at us. I brought my glove to the game, but there was no way I was going to catch this thing without it ripping my entire arm off my body. So my dad just nonchalantly reached over, stuck his huge meat hook of a hand out in front of me, snagged the ball out of the air, and said, "Here you go." And here we are. It's 35 years later. It's still the closest I've ever come to catching a foul ball at a game.
And what about all those signatures? I don't remember swinging at any ball that had all those names on it.
Those I got on the last day of the season. Someone who worked for my dad had a friend who worked in the clubhouse. And I brought this ball so I can get your autograph. I ended up getting everybody's except yours. We waited for you, but you never came back from the hospital. So we went home and just figured we'd get your autograph the following season.
Sorry. Imagine how I felt, though. I get hit by a pitch, run to first, steal second, steal third, score on a sacrifice fly, collapse in the dugout, taken to Lenox Hill for precautionary x-rays, and then the next thing I know, they're drilling holes in my skull because I had blood clot. Before that day, I never even heard of blood clots. But now I had some, and they were going to keep me from doing the only thing I ever cared about doing.
I wrote to you that winter.
A lot of people sent cards, get well wishes. At one point, they were actually delivering mail that was just addressed to Happy New York City.
That was me.
You sent those.
Yeah, my father said you need to get rest, so I just wrote Happy New York City on the envelope, put a blank sheet of paper inside, because I didn't want to tire her out by making you read too many words.
I appreciated it. Your father still called you Happy after it was all over for me?
Yeah,
Really?
a lot. He always pointed to you as an example of how people should enjoy life in the moment, because you never know what's waiting for you around the corner.
You mean sort of like man makes plans and God laughs kind of thing?
Nah, I'd say more along the lines of be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
Why?
Because you got hit in the head with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
I didn't wish for that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Who would wish for a thing like that?
I see. So maybe it was more of a smile is a frown turned upside down kind of thing.
Yeah, that must have been it. Late for something.
Huh?
You keep looking at your watch.
Oh, just a habit.
What time's your Seder?
Sundown.
What time is sundown?
Whatever time everybody's hungry. It's a Jewish thing. Look, would you mind signing that ball?
You want my autograph?
Yeah.
You sure? I can't remember the last time someone asked me to sign something that didn't have an invoice number on it.
You're the only name it's missing on it, and it would mean a lot.
Oh, if you say so.
Donald reaches into his jacket pocket, pulls out a fancy pen, and hands it to Happy.
How should I do this?
Well, you just find an open spot on the ball and sign your name there.
I mean the pen. Where's the point on this thing?
You just twist the top and there you go.
And what about this shit over here?
What shit?
The rubber shit.
Oh, that's just a padding on your fingers to rest them while you're writing. It's really comfortable. It was a gift. You gonna make fun of me now?
You're giving me no choice.
Go ahead.
Ready?
Yeah,
You're a sissy Mary.
that's it?
That's it.
Well, you nailed my fat ass on that one. So now that that's over with, if you don't mind.
Boy, I'm really honored.
He spins the ball in his hand, looking for a place to sign.
Now there's a spot.
Where?
Between Marv Thornberry and Choo Choo Coleman.
Little tight, don't you think?
No, not really.
Now, here we go. Now, should it be to Donald or Don or one of your kids?
No, just your name.
But
It should be to anyone.
But you flew down, you landed in West Palm Beach, you drove that rented tourist to my house. I feel like I should say something.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but it's much more valuable if it's not personalized to anyone.
What do you mean more valuable?
It's worth more.
To who?
To a buyer?
Excuse me?
Well, if a collector is in the market for something like this, he's more apt to pay top dollar if it just has the athlete's name on it, as opposed to something who's made out to a specific person. Because when he goes to sell it, his buyer might not want a ball that's made out to someone else.
You know, we both know what I do for a living, but I don't believe we ever got around to talking about what you do, Mr. Rappaport.
I deal sports memorabilia.
He hands Happy a business card.
The Sports Kingdom.
I have 4 stores in the tri-state area.
So let me see if I understand this correctly. This ball, with all those autographs on it, is worth money.
Yes.
And if I write my autograph on it,
It'll be worth more money.
why?
There'll be no other ball like it. That original team, 3 of them Hall of Famers, are based on careers they had before they came to the Mets, mind you, but still they're dead. So they can never sign another ball again. And the rest of these players are probably scattered all over the country, so it would probably cost a fortune to track them down.
So how much could you get?
For that ball?
Approximately.
I can tell you exactly.
So tell me exactly.
20,000.
Dollars.
That's right.
So let me see if I understand this correctly. You actually think that you can take this ball and sell it for
I know I could sell that ball for exactly $28,000
And how's that?
because it's already sold.
It is.
Yes, once you sign it, that is.
And just so I know, how did that happen?
I know a man up in New Jersey whose name is Joe Easton, and he's a collector, and he called me. You see, Happy, there's so much memorabilia out there. The market is so flooded that many collectors like to specialize in just one particular category that they have a passion for. The 1961 Yankees, a big attraction. Anything to do with Muhammad Ali, the great Boston Celtic teams. And this guy is,
Joe Eastern.
That's right, Joe Easton.
He the one that gave you this Sissy Mary pen as a gift?
No, but he did tell me that he grew up on Long Island and that he was 11 years old when the Mets came into existence. I told him I had a game-used ball with the original team's signatures on it, with the exception of yours. And he said that if you signed it, well, I negotiated a price of $28,000.
So you're gonna part with this ball?
Yes.
This ball that's filled with all those happy memories of when your hero dad caught it.
Well, yeah.
The same dad who called you Happy, after me, by the way. Who the hell are you, Mr. Rappaport? I played baseball because I loved it. I still love it. Every year I stop by those spring training camps when the teams are down here and they don't know me from a hole in the ground. To them, I'm just another fan, and they're right. I am a fan. And you told me you were one too. But now I see that all you really came here was to get an old man's signature on this ball so you can peddle memories for a profit.
Happy.
No, Mr. Rappaport, you are not a fan.
Happy.
You're a scavenger.
Happy.
A parasite who feeds off those who actually add something to this world.
Happy.
What?
I came here to give you the ball.
Excuse me? Would you mind indulging an old man by repeating that last sentence one more time, just in case I die?
Joe Eastern offered me $25,000 for the ball, but I insisted on exactly $28,000, which is exactly $1,000 for every game you played in the major leagues. It's not a lot by today's standards, but I just thought there was a certain ring to the way it sounded.
So let me see if I understand this correctly. I signed this ball.
Joe Easton owes you 28 grand.
I just shamed you into this, didn't I?
No.
I mean, calling you a scavenger, a parasite, and a bottom feeder.
You didn't call me a bottom feeder.
That's because you interrupted me. I was on the verge of calling you that and a lot worse.
Sorry, I interrupted. I would have loved to hear you top sissy, Mary.
So, right from the time you buzzed my button, you were going to do this.
Yeah.
No, something's wrong with this story.
Why do you say that?
It doesn't add up.
What doesn't add up? Happy? What
You know, I've tried my best all these years not to be bitter. That doesn't do anyone any good. One newspaper guy once figured out that if I kept up those numbers I had, over the length of a normal career, I'd be in the Hall of Fame. Well, that kind of talk don't do anyone any good either. Sure, it would have been great if I was Happy Holiday for longer than I was, but I wasn't. So I tried my best not to mourn for the life I didn't have, and I think I'm doing an okay job. We raised 5 kids in this place, my wife and I. She worked, I worked, and somehow we managed to send 5 happy people into this world. But now you come here offering me this incredible generosity. Jesus, more money than I ever seen in one place at any one time. And one part of me wants to cry, and another part is suspicious and says that this doesn't add up, that there's a lie here that hasn't been said yet.
There's no lie, Happy. Here's Joe Easton's phone number. Call him and see for yourself.
No. I believe that part.
What part don't you believe? The Taurus? I swear to you, I rented a Ford Taurus. I'm not proud of it, but look outside. It's right by the curb.
No, it's the pacing, the constant looking at your watch. I've seen executive types before. Suits, tiny phones that make them look like they're talking into their hands. Guys who are really here, but on their way to there. Are there, but have to cut it short because they are already late somewhere else. Basically, we're talking about guys who are never where they want to be. So now I look at you and I do my best to figure out where you're supposed to be instead of here. Can you tell me that? Where you really should be right now?
In Boca.
With your family.
Yeah.
But instead you came down here. You read an article, flew down, and drove a rented Taurus to Delray Beach so you could give someone you never met a $28,000 baseball an hour before the start of a holiday dinner when you're going to be here in Florida for how long?
7 days.
But the Passover lasts 8 days.
The Shiva lasts 7.
The Shiva?
The mourning period. My father died last night. We flew down here for his funeral.
Oh. There's more, right?
We hadn't spoken in years. We had a fight and I got real pissed at him and he got real pissed at me and we were both acting like we were going to live forever and had all the time in the world to make up with each other.
What was the fight about?
We both forgot. But we were both stubborn. My mom tried to intervene, my sisters, my brother. All I know is I was starting to miss him. Then about a month ago, that article was about you in the New York Post. I sent it to my dad with a note attached, and I said, remember? A few days later, I got a package in the mail, a box. Inside of it was this ball and a note that said, yes, I remember. I called him. We stayed on the phone for over 3 hours, and at the end of the conversation, we decided that we would give you this ball together when I came down for Passover. Then around 3 o'clock this morning, my mom phoned. He had a heart attack.
Had you two spoken since that 3-hour phone call?
Every night.
No shit.
No shit.
So I did good.
You did real good. Thanks.
Donald checks his watch.
Look, I should be getting back to my parents' house. Here's Joe Easton's number. Look, after you sign the ball, why not give him a buzz? Work out all the details with him directly.
Oh, well, I'm not sure I want to do that.
You want me to call him for you?
No, I'm just not sure I want to sell this thing so fast.
Happy.
I know. There's a lot anyone can do with $28,000. But just like you have your quirky ways about you, I was brought up to feel that a man should not accept any gift that he himself could not afford to have given.
Don't let false pride enter this, Happy. Because I don't know how much it was worth you're getting me and my dad back together again, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm the one who got the bargain. But the decision is yours. There's the ball. And there's the phone number. Take care, Happy Holiday.
You too, Happy Rappaport.
Donald picks up his attaché case and turns to leave.
Bye.
Hey, Donald.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Sure.
Donald exits the apartment, crosses the lobby, and opens the door to the vestibule.
And Donald,
Yeah?
next Passover, if you and your family should decide to fly down to Florida,
Yeah?
I'd really love it if you had the Seder here in my apartment.
Really?
Yeah, that way I could get to cook that big meal for you that we were talking about earlier.
And pie?
Yes, pie.
The lights start to fade.
A la mode?
Don't push it.
Donald exits the building. The lights fade out. End of play.